Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your topic session on Monday, the 8th of February. Now, it might be that you're listening to this story again at a later date, and that's absolutely fine, but I've put it on the website on the 8th of February 2021. Okay? Now, today I've got a very special story to read to you, and it's all about our last person in our special people topic that we've been doing this half term. I've got to say, I have absolutely loved doing our special people topic over the last 6 weeks because you've done so well with it and you've done some excellent work. We started off learning about David Attenborough, didn't we? Who was a famous zoologist and naturist. And then, after about 3 weeks of learning about David Attenborough, we moved on and we were learning about Neil Armstrong, who was an American astronaut who was the first man to walk on the moon. So, two very special people indeed. And this week, we're doing one more person. Now, a couple of those people that we learned about before were from the past. So Neil Armstrong did something very special in the past. David Attenborough is doing special things in the past and in the present because he's still doing special things now. And this person here, Captain Tom Moore, is another person who did something very, very recently that really helped a lot of people. Okay. Captain Tom Moore is a very special man. He lives in the UK and he has done something very, very special to help people during the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, now I'm sure you all know what the coronavirus is, and this man here has helped lots and lots of people by doing something very special. Okay, now Captain Tom Moore unfortunately is not alive anymore, but even though he's not alive anymore, we can celebrate his life and celebrate all the special things that he did by listening to what he did and thinking about what we could do that could be special, just like Tom Moore. Okay, so I'm going to read the story of you today, all about Captain Tom Moore. Here we go. Once there was a humble boy from Yorkshire who was born with his feet firmly on the ground. His name was Tom, and the day he started walking, his parents realised he would never stop. From an early age, he showed a passion for all kinds of engines. Tom was just 12 years old when he found a broken motorcycle in a barn. He bought it for 2 shillings and a sixpence, determined to fix it and take to the road. So here he is, he's driving off with a broken motorcycle. What do you think he's going to do with a broken motorbike? Tom was working as an apprentice engineer when he was called up to join the Duke of Wellington's regiment and fight for his country in a faraway land. He had never left his family before, but his knees did not tremble. Sorry, guys. So an engineer is somebody who looks after engines, fixes engines, and is very good with maths, very good at fixing things. And so Tom must have took his experience of building or fixing the motorbike that he bought and used that to help him to get to his job. Now, when it says he's fighting in a country, in a faraway land, what could that mean, do you think? What's the name of a person who fights for his country in a faraway land or in their own land? It could be the army, couldn't it? It could be the navy. It could be the Royal Air Force. Okay, so Captain Tom was being very, very helpful by going to fight for his country in a faraway land. As soon as he landed in India, Tom felt like he was in an entirely new world. Sometimes he had to share his bed with spiders as big as the palm of his hand and poisonous snakes. But next to his comrades, or his friends, he felt at home. So he's very brave, this man. He doesn't get scared by many things, does he? His firm determination and courage took him from soldier to captain. Tom was always there to raise his team's spirits. Even in their toughest moments under enemy fire, he knew they were on the winning side. So he wasn't just a soldier, he was a captain, and the captain is like the person in charge. He's the team leader. He's got to keep everybody going, make sure everybody's okay, and give them their jobs to do. It's a very important job. When the war ended, Tom left the army and built a family, but he never forgot about his army friends. He started a reunion dinner that went on for 65 long years until finally it was just him answering his own invitation. So I can see here that all these people who was in the army with, he made sure that every year they met up for a very special dinner. But over time, these people got older and older and older until it was just Sir Captain Moore left with his family. He was 90 years old when he slipped doing his daily walk. After a few visits to the hospital, Captain Tom left with a ton of gratitude for the nurses and doctors who took care of him, and also with a hip replacement and 2 new knees. So when people get older sometimes, if they fall over, it's not like us when we cut our knee and it heals very, very quickly. We put a plaster on it. If an old person falls over, they can really hurt themselves, and sometimes they have to have their bones replaced with special metal ones. Okay, and that's what Sir Tom had done there. And you can see that the doctors and the nurses, they're waving to him, and Captain Tom is really happy that he had those people to look after him. He was very thankful, very grateful. It takes just one step after another to get better, and Captain Tom couldn't wait to take his first. When his daughter found a treadmill on the drive and discovered it was Grandpa Tom who had bought it online, she felt very proud of him. So you can see here's his wheelchair. Him falling over and having those hip and knee replacements, it hasn't stopped him from wanting to carry on doing his daily walks. And he's using the treadmill to help him to learn to walk again. So even though that's going to be very difficult for him, he's not giving up and he's still trying. One spring, as his 100th birthday approached, Captain Tom decided to celebrate it by walking 100 laps of his garden before the big date arrived. He had just started walking when a global pandemic struck his country. So there's a newspaper that's landed on his doorstep and it says, COVID-19 strikes hard. Another word for COVID-19 is the coronavirus. Okay, now the coronavirus can make people feel very poorly, and it makes the doctors and nurses' jobs in the hospitals very, very hard. And sometimes the doctors and the nurses in the hospitals don't have enough money to look after everybody. So Mr. Captain Tom Moore, he decided that he was going to help those doctors and nurses. Holding his walking frame even tighter, Captain Tom kept marching with a new goal in mind. He wanted to raise £1,000 for those who once took care of him, and now were on the front line helping others, the healthcare staff. That would be like the doctors, the nurses, anybody who works in a hospital, or the NHS as we call it in this country. Everyone was so touched by Captain Tom's feat that by his birthday he raised more than £30 million. Oh my goodness me, £30 million, that's a lot more money than we'll ever see, I think. That's a huge amount of money. His regiment was there to salute him, and he was sent cards from people all over the country, even from the Queen. So all these people are celebrating and saying thank you to Captain Sir Tom Moore, because even though he found it difficult to walk after his hip injury, he walked around his garden 100 times. That would be easy for you to do because you've got little legs and little feet that are growing and strong. But for somebody old like Captain Tom Moore, that's a big, big challenge, and he did it fantastically. And tomorrow will be a new day, and the sun will shine as little Tom goes for his daily stroll. The humble hero and national treasure who invites us to keep walking next to him, never leaving anyone behind. Oh, so there's Captain Tom Moore looking, he's walking off with somebody who looks a little bit like him when he was growing up. He's got his walking frame to help him. Okay, and that's the end of our story. And right at the back of the book, there's something here called a timeline. And the timeline is what Captain Tom Moore did throughout his life. And if you want to, you can pause this video and read through that if you want to. I'm not going to read it now because I'm aware of times. Okay? So, boys and girls, that is our story about Captain Tom Moore. Okay? This week we're going to be learning all about this very special person. And we're going to be thinking about what we can do to be special people ourselves. Okay? Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.